Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. I try to hide from the world, but somehow you know where to find me. And even with them gray clouds, I can see my silver lining. Even when I had doubt, I can feel that eye behind me. Couldn't see a way out, but you was right there to remind me. I was trying to find help when I just had to find me. And now I know thyself, ain't nobody gonna define me. Said I tried to find help, but I had to find self. I designed myself, I deserve the right to define myself. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, na na na, ooh, na na na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. Ooh, na 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 na, na 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 na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. They only mad they ain't understand the assignment. Living without you is something I can't be fine with. On your stomach laying flat, exactly where I want is where I got you. I'm finna press my lips up on your back, boo. You got me kissing every tattoo. Run my tongue to the center of your back, boo. And I can touch you, it don't matter where you at, boo. We know space, time, and distance ain't a fact. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, your lips, your eyes, your heart, your ear, your mind, your whole design, your hands are so divine. Ooh, na na na, ooh, na na na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. Ooh, na 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 na, na 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 na. Ooh, your body, ah, na 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 na. I try to hide from the world, but somehow you know where to find me. And even with them gray clouds, I can see my silver lining. Even when I had doubt, I can feel that eye behind me. Couldn't see a way out, but you was right there to remind me. I was trying to find help. When it's moving through dark side, clearing up all the lies and the rumors too. Dark side, you say you want my life, you gotta fight me first. Dark side, come outside round here, there's nothing like church. Dark side, come and get this life work. They talked about Jesus, give them something to Babylon. Just know my whole team is battle tested and battle strong. One world speaking that Tower Babel tongue. Cold Hammurabi thinking ancient Babylon. No pun intended, Reaganomics had us under avalanche. We took off like a rocket, they was praying we could never launch into the upper echelon. You can never be yourself. Every day is Comic-Con, fast money Ramadan. Who collected Comic-Con? Cold check my vital signs. Motel 6 float. Woke up with the brightest mind. Out of sight, out an idle mind. They hate it when you idolize. We living in the final times. Guess you Ellen Keller blind. Spirit when it's moving through. Dark side, clearing up all the lies and the rumors too. Dark side, you say you want my life, you gotta fight me first. Dark side, come outside round here, there's nothing like church. Dark side, come and get this life.
soul on the altar, I never offer a sacrifice. The blood that we need for the lamb ain't never acting right. I take my path tonight, knowing that I might have to fight. I probably grab a knife and a 9. I guess I'm packing light, focus on the now, just as much as the afterlife. I recognize the spirit is only taking up half the fight. Stairway to heaven, he won't make it up half a flight. He working, making bacon bits, probably out on the Sabbath night. Shoot for the moon, hoping to hit a satellite. You can ask him why when they see me, they call on Adonai. When we both know at the most he telling you half a lie. Feel the transition begin to happen when passing time. I came back in the sky, just like an astronaut, to say you selling Africans out. See you and asking Mike, and it's sad to say they really had it bad for Christ. And I hear the Habasha thinking they are the half of
The spirit when it's moving through.
dark side,
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side.
Come and get this life work.
Power to the dark side. What's happening? Power to the dark side, family. Definitely appreciate y'all. Y'all already know, man, we got to give a special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEMia, whose image is and always will be the most beautiful Whoopi Goldberg. Facts. Hey, look, what you say is just spirituality month. Hey, you already know. Strictly Black Spirituality Month. That's what we doing. Strictly Black Spirituality Month. Period. And I'm gonna tell you, Karai, the reason why we even having this issue, why it's even a question on which spirituality, is because this nigga Abraham didn't get the job done. All he had to do was sacrifice Isaac. We wouldn't even be here today. If he had sacrificed Isaac, there would be no Jacob. We wouldn't have to worry about none of this shit. But nah. And I just gotta say, man, shout out to the Babel builders. I definitely appreciate you in the building. Remember, if you are listening to this, together we are Babel. Let's build. A sacrifice is definitely gonna have to take place. And I tell y'all this, and I have to bring it back again. I'm gonna drop the link too. I'm gonna have to bring this back though. All Asiatics, whether sleeper cells or known agents, they either are going to convert or they're going to be sacrificed on a mountain in Turkey. All roads lead back to Turkey, whether we're talking about the Bible, whether we're talking about the Quran, whether we're talking about the star and the crescent, whether we're talking about the cross, whatever we're talking about, when you look at it and you gather, you go and you follow the trail of it historically, you're going to end up in Anatolia. You're going to end up somewhere in Turkey on a fucking mountain every time. It's consistent. And you know the confusion of these people, right? Earlier I heard a nigga that I actually thought was fucking smart until this nigga opened up his mouth and started, and you just don't know, man. God damn. You just don't know until niggas start speaking. Who would have ever known Vic Damone was a crazy ass Christian? I mean, this nigga is out of his goddamn mind. This nigga talking about him seeing his father. And I'm like, are you running the same narrative that they use to enslave black people, sir? Ham? Is that what we gonna fall under? And the curses of Canaan and come on. It's the same cycle. And then you gotta understand when at some point it's a lack of comprehension. But no, it becomes like you don't wanna understand. There's no confusion on what's African spirituality. There's no confusion. There's only semantics. We can play the semantics, but at the end of the day, there's no confusion on what's African spirituality. I already showed this. There are tenets in African spirituality, the principles that separate our culture from the rest of the fucking world. Y'all just don't get it. Y'all just don't get it. We're still playing the game. Black people, African people globally, Aboriginal people globally are not in a predicament to not see themselves in the deity that they serve. Period. You cannot afford, we cannot keep going in the same cycle because we're seeing the problems pop up on this subconsciously. And part of the very reason why is because we don't even, we can't even really depict ourselves in our own minds and in our own imagination in the form of deities in another realm. When we think of things like whether it be superheroes or gods and whatever it may be, Netaru, the Orisha, whatever it may be, if we can't see ourselves depicted inside of like, I'm talking about, because this is a part of the idea of you even being in a supreme position or a position of authority. It starts with your deities. If all of our fucking deities are foreign, how can we ever expect for black people to make a decision on governing themselves? On self-determination? How the hell is black people ever going to talk about self-determination when all of the deities that they praise and worship? See, this is the thing that they don't understand about this praise and worship. These deities are doing what? What are they doing? Draining your fucking energy. And see, this is why these niggas is fucking confused and they don't understand this dark side shit is something different. There are no vampire deities inside of the dark side. There are no deities inside of the dark side pantheon that require blood. Notice I said it's the dark side pantheon. Notice that. Why? Because this is something different. This is our own form of African spirituality. Why? Cause you niggas then fucked it up. We tried to play the game. We'll just leave the religion at the door. Look where the hell that got us in 2023. The more time that we waste bullshitting, trying to play the political game, because all it is it's an appeal to authority. That's how black people try to fight, is by appealing to authority. We want to be able to look good, and because in the end, subconsciously, we still believe that the reason why we're not seen as human is not because we're not being ourselves. We're not seen as human is because we're not living up to the standards that they set. And somehow we believe, well, if we just fully live up to those standards, if we fully become, what is it? It's white. Like let's quit playing these games. I already told you, I already showed y'all. There's a standard when you're here. There's a structure. See, these people pretend like they have leadership qualities. No, they go to school for that shit. They can't organically galvanize attention. They can't organically influence people. They don't have that ability. What they do is they study it, they number your dance moves, and they get in the mirror and fucking practice over and over again. Period. We don't have time to continuously play with these vampire deities. At the end of the day, you can pretend like we can have this book around. We know sooner or later, one of these niggas is gonna get the message from Allah or the message from Yahweh. Why, excuse me for even saying from YHWH. That is what, because at the end of the day, remember who your brother is. See, and that's the game that they want to play. They try to play like you can, well, we can just keep no, the principles and the dogma run hand in hand. You're not separating the principles and the dogma when you talk about the Bible or when you talk about the Quran. Both Greco-Roman. Let's quit playing these fucking games. And I'll destroy that shit. I don't care what language is it. It's Greco-Roman. Play with me. Show me a Hebrew Bible. Please. Before 200 BCE. I'd like to see it. Show me the Hebrew Bible. The Hebrew Torah. Let's see that bullshit before 200 BCE. It don't exist. Quit playing. The original copy, we already know. The original compilation, what? It equals Greco-Roman. Every time you got to figure out what the fuck the word mean or anything, you going into the Greek. And when they tell you they finna go into the Hebrew, you got to ask yourself, what Hebrew? What the fuck Hebrew is they talking about exactly? And where did they get this Hebrew Bible from? It doesn't exist. This shit is all shit of the enemy. So yeah, you can quote good principles and nigga, we got enough good principles we can find in Africa. We don't need that bullshit. We got enough principles in Africa, in African spirituality. We got plenty of principles. And like I said, when you're talking about African spirituality, what is it? It's certain tenets that you hold. Ancestral worship, the veneration of the ancestors. Why? Because life works in a cycle. Just as much work as you have to do while you're here on this plane, you have as much work to do once you leave. That's the whole point of creating that communication. And then when you transition, you hold on to that communication. Why? Because when we're on, regardless of what side of this plane we're on, whether we're in the whether we're living in the where we can see physical matter or we're living in the plane of antimatter, either way it go, we need each other. That connection is where our strength is. We can only reconnect though with those that choose to reconnect with us. See, what y'all fail to realize is even when you talking about uh uh just on a subatomic level, right? And let's just talk about us in general, right? For all matter, there's what? Antimatter, correct? For all matter, there is antimatter, right? Almost like a left and a right. Almost like a left and a right. So you can think about it. What you see, right? What we see, your physical shell is your physical form, that's the matter. The part of you that we can't see is the antimatter. That's the part of you that we can't see. Through that, that's where you're truly connected. That's where your power is. That's where creation starts at. That's where the thought of creation, that's where the thought of, everything that we see, that of what we call reality or the physical plane. What's good? What you got? And let me go ahead and drop the link to some bullshit. Oh, I already copied it. I didn't even throw it out there. And shout out, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. I appreciate you too, Karat. Power to the dark side, guy. I appreciate you in the mix. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro, because there's a lot of confusion that goes on. And what niggas fail to realize is when they did they book burning and they burned all of our documents and anything that would give us some sort of truth and some sort of idea of what we have accomplished throughout history or anything origins to all of that, they destroyed all of our documents. They destroyed and defamed our temple. Like when Islam and them come in, right? Whether it be Islam or Christianity, see, a lot of people think that Christianity only conquered by the sword. But when you look at Ethiopia, they didn't just conquer by the sword. What did they do? They have been sending missionaries from damn Turkey or Anatolia, right? From when? from damn near 200, from like, well, really probably even before, because when you look at the Star and the Crescent, it dated back to like Turkey around, damn, I don't want to lie, I think 800. Now 800 BCE is where the Arabs come in. I think it was like 1100 BCE or something. I'm gonna have to look at it again. But the Star and the Crescent, right? That shit was like way before Islam. My fault, y'all. I'm bullshit. I cannot talk and do two things. Hold on. Right? That Star and the Crescent is way before Islam. And so when you see, and the Star and the Crescent used to be on the money in Ethiopia once the Habasha, right, took over after the Da'amat kingdom fall. So you get the fall of the Da'amat kingdom, right, which also you would call Ta-Neta, right? Or that's what the Egyptians call Ta-Neta, which the Egyptians said that's where their origin, or the Kemetic said that's where their origin was from, and they called it the land of the gods, right? Or Punt. They called it the land of the gods. So even when you get into that, what happens though? How do you get the fall? Well, you get the people who go inside of the mountains and see the people who come from Turkey or Anatolia. The reason why they picked the mountains, the highlands of Ethiopia and the highlands of Eritrea, the reason why they picked it is because the terrain is similar to the mountains in Turkey. The terrain is very similar to the mountains in Turkey. And so when these people, and this is where you get the Ge'ez language from, right? Or the Ge'ez, however they say it, Ge'ez, Ge'ez, the Ge'ez, whatever. What's good, Planet Free Spirit? How you feeling today? Peace, peace. However you want to pronounce it. This is where you get that language, right? This becomes a trade language between, this is the, like, almost like a merger between these Africans who sell out and mix with these Arabs and these people. And this is what's funny about it, right? Because when you look at the DNA, the same time they begin this trade, 800 BCE, is the same time that the DNA pops up, right? A shift in the DNA. And what you get with the Habasha, right? You get more of this Arabic, more so DNA in. And these people give this story in Ethiopia, and they almost killed the true Ethiopians' history with this Abrahamic fucking faith shit, because they believing in some shit that don't even exist. They're getting rid of their own ancestors. See what the trick is? These are real deities, and they really want your soul. They truly do. You don't understand how significant your blood is. We already went through the epigenome. Think about it. Memories and markings from your whole life, from your whole generation, is left on your genome. Information passed down from your very first being, your very first ancestor. Its information is there. Why do you think these deities always require your blood? Blood is always a requirement. And see, they used to have you bring blood, right? Physical blood. Jesus was the dagger, because this nigga, it, this blood that you get from Jesus, this is in your heart, right? The acceptance of his blood is in your heart. The acceptance of eating his flesh is in your heart. I damn near almost rather you go through the physical, go through a damn physical, uh, whatever you, fucking cannibalism, than do it spiritually. Just think about it. You're trapping your mind in a spiritual cannibalism, like contract, because it's definitely a contract. First is the knock at your door. And when I'm talking about knocking at your door, this is Jesus knocking on your heart. It's the first place. Then what does he do? He asks you to allow him in. He asks you to open up. All you have to do is open your heart. You can be saved. Like, and I was kind of disappointed in this because I heard two people who were supposed to be outside of the Abrahamic faith concerned with whether people could be saved or not. Huh? Saved from what? What do you need to be saved from? Hey, I'm confused. Saved from what? Why would it matter whether a Christian believes you can be saved? At the end of the day, we see there are certain spiritual practices, or if they want to call them all religions, that are aggressive, and there are some that are content. And we see when you look at Aboriginal culture, because this is what we're in, a culture war. We're not just in a war where it's like this, you gotta pick up a gun and oh, the war is about culture, how we view the world, how we view life, how we view ourselves, down to the just details of how you view your hair. What's the standard? And see, it's the enemy that sets the standard that's in the first place. And we got to realize how low he's setting it. We think he's setting this standard so high. We truly do. And that's because in our heart of hearts, we get deceived by the image that he's able to portray. We get deceived by him able to stay, you have to have a firm handshake and look him square in the eye. You know how they decide to stand. This is like everything, nothing is like natural. Nothing. You're never seeing anything natural or just organically take place. They're never organically congratulating you or organically, you know what I'm saying? Look, it's all coerced. I mean, not coerced, it's all rehearsed. It's all like, right off the paper. It's robotic. Real quick. Let me send this link real quick. But yeah, we see it. It's robotic. Period. Don't be scared. I did that. My fault. Y'all probably can't hear me. Can y'all hear me now? All right. But yeah, it's a war for culture. See, we got a lot of love and we believe in a lot of ways that, but what made our infrastructure, right? Because better believe it is infrastructure, just like for anybody else. What made ours unique and different is that we learned how to live with nature. The smarter your civilization is, the more advanced your civilization is, the less imprint they leave on the planet. The smartest civilization will leave the smallest footprint. You should barely even know that they're fucking there. Period. Not destroying the fucking food supply. Like we're getting to a point, like we talk all of this shit about Monsanto's and fucking Al Gore, all of this shit. We talk all of that about them and what they're doing with the food, the suicide seeds, and we got all of this fake food now. It's getting to a point where we don't need it when you look at what they're doing. Destroying our freshwater supply. Look at the fish. They built so many dams in the America that the fucking salmon can't even swim up. Salmon gotta swim upstream. The fish gotta swim upstream in order they lay their eggs upstream. Or I think it's the catfish, whatever it is. They're not getting there anymore because of the fucking dams that they didn't build. They're killing the ecosystem. Like every which way you look, the environment is in shambles, and the infrastructure in itself is unsustainable. We can do a lot better. See, the thing is that, and what disappoints me today when I hear black revolutionaries is that we're in a predicament now where black people are fighting harder for American values and for this this American country, and white people are fighting against it. We're talking about having our voices heard, and white people are running into the fucking Capitol. Like it didn't take white people long. It took them fucking what 4 years, or I guess we'll say 8 years with Obama. It took them 8 years to realize their country was hijacked and they was inside of the goddamn. The moment they felt like shit wasn't going their way. And when you look at it, think about it. This is the majority. You're talking about the majority of white people don't believe in the country. that they created, the laws, the government, the system that they created for themselves, they don't believe in it. They don't believe in it. But niggas do. We still trying to fucking and that's why like it's the smooth transition for me. And this is where the religions they play these bullshit games with the fairy tale ending. There's no fairy tale ending to this shit. It's an ugly ass war. A lot of people are gonna die. A whole lot of people are gonna starve. A lot of people ain't gonna have no fucking place to live. Period. Period. It's just a part of the change. There's no way there's gonna be a shift in power without that happening. So either you don't want to fucking shift, and if you don't want to shift in power, cool. Get out of the way. Just get out of the way. I'm telling you, it's best that you just hide. Because I already told y'all must forgot when Rock Nation first started, the first greeting before even power to it was power and chaos. Power and chaos. What y'all fail to realize is part of the foundation of dark side doctrine or the Rock Nation's doctrine is anarchy, is chaos. Period. What is the answer? The only answer is total chaos. You can't allow them to control the narrative. Everything else that you try to do, they've already accounted for it. They've ran the numbers inside of a computer. They got the algorithms and they've weighed out what's the worst that could happen. They've already done that. We rolled the dice 1,000 times playing Monopoly. We keep landing on somebody else's shit. No matter how many times you roll the fucking dice playing this game of Monopoly, you're gonna land on somebody else's shit. You on somebody else's property, nigga. And guess what? You ain't even got the capital. See, and this the crazy part. When we playing these games, where does the capital come from? We're not in a predicament where like things are moving too fast around us globally for us to keep lollygagging and thinking we're going to get the right. Because at the end of the day, what niggas is talking about is it's the right politician. It still ends up with us softening somebody's heart, whether it's domestic or foreign. We're still trying to pull on somebody's heartstring. We have one job. There's a sacrifice that's going to have to be made. whether it be us, or it be our kids, or it be our kids' kids. I'm just trying to figure out what type of niggas continue to want to put this shit off on their own babies. You know that the conditions is only getting worse. Nigga, the price of eggs is $9 goddamn dollars. Like, we're playing games at this point. The price of egg, I just paid $4, almost $5 for like a fucking quart of milk. And I ain't even opened that shit yet. I'm scared. I'm like looking at it right now. Like, I don't even know what I want to use it for anymore. I feel like I should try to wait and maybe I can flip it. Like $6 or $7 or something. I don't know. And maybe go back and when the price drop again. I don't know. You might have to start treating the store like the fucking stock market and just wait for the price to drop. Gas is going bananas. The cost of living is going bananas. But people's earned income ain't changing. It ain't moving. All of this is going on around you, and you're not getting paid any more than what you was before pre-virus. When things hit and everybody had to get locked down, that should have been the time that black people understood how vulnerable they really was. How vulnerable they really was. Because when everything shut down, where could you really go? Because not only did things shut, they start changing their time. Like they was literally, and what was wild is you got paid to stay home. Power to the dark side. Shout out to the Civ Lord. Appreciate you in the building, God. That's so crap. Like, ain't shit. Like, you haven't gotten paid anymore, but everything around you done fucking double. And they're treating you like you still, you know why they doing that? They treating you like you still got some of that goddamn money. They trying to drain out the PPPs. They trying to drain out them stimmies. All of that. They trying to bleed every bit of that they trying to get it all back. And see what's crazy is what they did during that time is a perfect example of how they build of how you would build wealth. It's that easy. The government. Our issue is the way that the structure is and what it takes. We don't the voice that we actually need. It isn't. That's not coming from here. We can play the game like we don't want to, but we know the biggest threat to white supremacy is a global connection between Africans, period. That's the biggest threat to the system in general. Ain't nothing else crushing it. Besides us, and this is the thing, niggas don't even understand when we talk about the return to Africa. Nigga, that don't mean you gotta take your ass no fucking where. That just means your intentions and your mindset is understanding that no matter where you are, we're all looking at we gotta have the same goal. I think niggas don't understand dark side doctrine. We're black supremacists. There's no fucking question. There's no compromise. I told y'all that I do black propaganda media. That means anything that I'm fucking dealing with is going to be is in direct opposition to the propaganda that you get on your normal fucking news and TV. If I wanted to look at Asian gods and white gods, I could just turn on the TV for that shit. The History Channel, anything. Anything. They're always talking about them at some point in time. At least until we get to a point where we're healthy. Like, niggas ain't fucking healthy right now to be playing with other people's gods. Black people don't even like what they see when they look in the mirror. To be moving on another generation, presenting guys that don't fucking look like them again. And mind you, whenever you dealing with these guys, it's attached to the people. Y'all fail to realize that the gods is attached to the people. There's no coincidence that there's a connection between places that are Islam and all of a sudden the Arabs got rule and power and control over there. There's no question. There's no coincidence to that. That's not by accident because they know your loyalty eventually it may not be you, but when you passing that shit down as if as if one of the kids ain't gonna like, come on, let's quit playing games. You can't play. I keep telling you cannot play with the Bible. We used to do that shit and go in fucking circles with these niggas. There's a verse for a verse. There's a verse for every verse in the fucking Bible. Whatever you needed to say. We had a nigga get up here and prove Jesus had wife, kids, and a side piece. And the nigga fucking proved that shit with the Bible. And you telling me we gonna take the chance on, well, we'll just give black people the esoteric knowledge and they ain't what? And they won't read the rest of the fucking book. Give them the esoteric knowledge and pray to God they don't read the rest of the book. No. No. These are goddamn spell books. All they do is double talk throughout the whole fucking book. One minute this guy loves you, the next minute this nigga is killing you. Another time you're his wife, the next time you're this dirty whore that he's divorcing. We don't need these confused ass guys, yo. And I told y'all last time in my debate where I smoked this nigga Yehukanan. I don't know if y'all remember that. I chopped this nigga Yehukanan up to the point he had a whole breakdown and started making monkey sounds. I killed this nigga this day on should we burn the Bible or not. And when I smashed this nigga's head in on whether or not we should burn the Bible, 3 Christian judges voted that we should burn it because I smashed this nigga that bad. But anyway, the way I smashed him is because the God, we need better examples as a God. Like, period. If we're gonna have belief in these the deities have to be setting a better standard. Like, period. What's good, Juju? Appreciate you in the building, sis. Like, period. It's gotta be some sort of a shift, money. Like, at no point can we continue to fall into the same like hole, bro. It's a hole. Everybody who has any sort of loyalty to Jesus, every country, just so happens to be under European rule. Just so fucking happens. What a coincidence. The currency is European. There ain't no easy way to change or to have this shift in power. There's no easy way to do it. It's almost like niggas is waiting on the Chinese to get like, yo, if black people if Africans globally sit their ass down and let these little ass Chinese motherfuckers be next up, we need our ass whooped for real, bro. I know something. There ain't no fucking way. I'm not. No, no. And at the rate these niggas is moving, these niggas is trying to move us into a whole nother slavery. We're not serving any more Asiatics. No more Eurasian service. That shit is over. The next country the next empire that we build will be our own. Period. And it'll be the final one. Because everybody that shows up with the we gonna have a fucking Abrahamic test. Niggas gonna have to walk through. And everybody that don't pass the test is getting their ass sacrificed on the mountain in Turkey. I'm sorry. We rounding you niggas up. Y'all gotta go live on the mountains in Turkey. The moment you identify your ass with Ham, Shem, and Japheth, we're rounding your ass up. And I'm telling you right now, it's been a minute since I started this fight. I haven't. It's been a while. There will be a big fire on top of this big mountain. And the Eurasians will be there. We will be there. We just won't be in the flame. A lot of people try to deny this Eurasian invasion in the first place. And see, it's funny how the Abrahamic faiths have a funny way of telling their Eurasian invasion story. But we know what happened. We know exactly what happened. We know it wasn't no fucking Abraham broke ass with no goat herding ass with no 300 servants. We know this nigga showed up with an army. We know that. We're not playing with y'all no more. And see, y'all don't know why we call it Greco-Roman or why on the dark side. See, on the dark side, you won't hear us say, that's the white man's book. No, we're better than that. We a lot smoother than telling you it's the white man's book. We're a lot smoother than telling you that the Hebrews were white. No. We know that the Bible was Greco-Roman, and we know for a fact that you goddamn Hebrews is Eurasian. We know it. And the reason why we do that is because there was some of the motherfuckers that looked like us. They weren't the majority, but there were some of them that do look like us. Why? Because the problem and the collide isn't necessarily, it's the cultures where we're colliding at. It's the culture. You see that even in Rwanda. The animosity in Rwanda was over the culture. The motherfuckers came into Rwanda with that Asiatic ass uh culture and shit. They with that Eurasian culture, trying to dominate shit, and it caught up. That's what you get when you play games with these fucking Eurasians. You get Rwanda. You get Ethiopia, where they fucking lie to you and tell you that they was never colonized. Yet, yet, you got a Syro-Phoenician Greek raising the fucking king of Ethiopia, but they wasn't never colonized. The fuck out of here. The nigga came straight from Turkey and raised King Gazana. You niggas is silly as shit. What that look like? Think about that. We established our free state, but somebody allowed goddamn Joe Biden to come in and tutor the fucking future king of our goddamn village. What you think Joe Biden is getting ready to fucking tutor our baby on? To be for us or against us? Like, we gotta stop with the game. Say they try to do that to Christianity is African. No, it isn't. No, it is not. And that's why niggas have got to, like, no, no, no. Facts. It's really what it is, man. It's a class, like, that's what it's about, and people don't realize that when they gave these books out, it was to the people that they were conquering to keep them from rebelling. Not giving them out, but when they're teaching this stuff, it's to keep them from rebelling. It's to gain the hearts and the minds of the people that they was conquering. And notice that in every place you start finding that these people adopt this Eurasian culture and then start trying to connect themselves genetically to the culture. And then they start creating stories about why they didn't used to be fucking black. See, y'all playing games. They out here stealing souls for real. Y'all talk about the Illuminati. Nigga, you sold your soul to Jesus. And guess what? He played you. You sold your soul to Jesus to be a servant in his fucking kingdom, which is gonna be ruled by Eurasians. You niggas is retarded as fuck. I'm not building nobody else's kingdom. I'm not building nobody else's kingdom. Jesus is a Eurasian. His kingdom will be ruled by Eurasians. Y'all telling me if y'all go up and haven't looked anything like this, y'all comfortable with that? Cause I don't even want to, like, bro, if I go to heaven and get a snippet, send me to hell. I'm telling you right now. Don't even waste my fucking time sending me that. If that's what it really is, facts. If that Serapis shit is what it, like, if this is what it really is, and we gonna have to serve, whether we get down or lay down in this Eurasian kingdom under the rulership of Jesus, nigga, you can send me the fuck to hell. I'm good. I'm good. So you telling me, like, how exactly that man? Dog, look, y'all crazy. We can't play these games. And I don't know what's worse. Is is black people, is black Christians lying, talking about some color don't matter, but always having a white Jesus, or is it black Hebrews creating this Yahweh Shai character and got him looking like a fucking drunkard by a liquor store? Like, I don't know what's worse, y'all. I'm done with you. Like, I'm finished with niggas right now. I'm just gonna be honest. Our culture is under attack. Every day that you concede to the new norm, because remember, this is a new normal. This shit ain't been like this forever. This is a new normal. The more that you concede to a new normal, you're only cementing a victory in war for them. Y'all think the war is just politically. It's just not a political war. This ain't just an economic war. This is first and foremost a war for the mind. We already showed you this is why the Jews didn't worry about having a fucking standing army. They used their resources to control entertainment, media. They wanted to control what you see, what you read, what you hear, what you soak in, what you go to sleep to. They needed a way to get into your heart. See, y'all don't even know Y'all think that the Jews, they play this game like they hate Jesus. Jesus is a fucking agent for the Jews. You niggas don't even know that shit. The nigga's a double agent. Go read Josephus' story where this nigga is sitting over here claiming that the whole book of Revelations happened. While this nigga talking shit about Jesus. But yet I'm reading and he's sitting there basically confirming, like, yeah, Jesus wasn't shit. But that nigga did do everything he said he was gonna do. Yo, what the hell? Like word for word. Came back in the clouds with the chariots. That's Josephus. That's your boy. He's an agent sent to bring you into the fold. See, they know you wouldn't serve the Jew. You won't serve them. Like they needed two. Well, it ain't that you won't. They just wanted two ways. It's two different ways that you can serve. But Jesus is the way that it ensures that they always have your mind, your heart. You always serve their best intentions. That makes it hard for you to fight. Not only did it say, see, a lot of people will go through, yeah, slaves obey your master. But what about the government being God? Whoever is in charge, whatever power is in charge, that is God. God put them there. And if you go against the powers that be, it's to go against God. What about that shit? How the fuck we supposed to move forward? Like, think about this. Our whole struggle is a fight against the powers that be. And the book that we hold into says that God put them there and that they are representative of God. And that you shouldn't go against them because they won't spare the rod. What the fuck? How does those two correlate? So even if he's bringing a sword down on you, brought that shit on yourself because you went against God. So you can't complain when you see what you call that's not injustice in the streets. When we're looking at the police, the Bible said that's God. How the fuck is black people supposed to go against God? And you wonder why the dark side say fuck God. We don't have a God concept. No. God is outside of you. Your ancestors are a part of you. All information from the very beginning of your lineage is buried inside of you. All of the info they've already showed you that you hold information from generation. You carry information from generation. You're going to pass information on to the next generation. Everything is think about it. When you're seeing things, you're only bringing in light. Light is only information. The same way your eyes can convert light, and the brain translates it and tells you what's the image that you're looking at in front of you. We have that same opportunity. No different. We had that same we only have to figure out what is the exact translation of that information. Remember, I went and see if I can actually find it real quick again. But we already read this when I read the Book of Secrets. Everything that you need to know is already within you. The foundation and your chief deity. It should be the head of your family. Whoever it is, that's where it should start. Your veneration should start with who started your lineage. And because of some of the spiritual choices some of our family members made before death and going into death, renouncing our spirituality and denouncing our spirituality and all of that, and cursing us for us even thinking about going back. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't even know. During these conversions and of African people being converted, a part of not only them just completely denouncing our connection to our ancestors, but they also was putting curses on us for the day that we would try to return. They put curses on us for the day that we would try to return to our spirituality. So for some of us, the deification is going to start with us. You're starting a new branch. You're starting a new journey, because a part of this process is becoming a new people, understanding that we're a new people, but still knowing our connection to the continent. I don't know how we don't see the correlation between the continent having power and we having power. If the continent had power, we'd have way more leverage. We need a safe space where we can send our best and our brightest And we can not only, where they're only around black propaganda, African propaganda, but we're their only incentive. We have too much focus, too many other places, and we're not preparing minds in order for the change and for the shift that's necessary. We can't tell our babies the same stories that we've always told them. Those stories have become a detriment. The depictions of these deities have become a detriment. We already have a problem here with not embodying but worship. The reason why we don't embody but worship is because we don't see ourselves in the deities. So why would you fucking introduce more deities that we don't see ourselves in? We already have an issue with ethnic cleansing amongst each other and trying to lighten each other and trying to lighten up. We already have that issue. Look at Ethiopia. Where do you think you get the Habesha from? Skin bleaching. These different caste systems. It's all like I told y'all, we played this game long enough to know better. We've already told y'all this is a train that we're on. It's on fire. And it's going fast. My fault, man. There's a shield right there. Thirsty as hell. But yeah, it's a culture clash. They created a culture that was more addictive than the cultures that we had. So now with our new form of African spirituality on the dark side, we're going to clean that shit up. We don't need principles from the Quran. We don't need principles from the Bible. We had zero control of either of those books. Both of them was written and controlled by the enemy. Both of them are political books based on propaganda by the enemy. Notice that all of the places, Allah and YHWH, they both decide that where Israel Why? Look at where they at. At that time, this was the center of trade during that fucking time. You can control that area, that Levant area. You could control the trade that took place between from Turkey all the way down into Ethiopia. So it's just ironic that God, that YHWH and Allah both picked this place to settle at. This is the place where, you know, this they favorite place out of all of the places on earth. They picking places and shit now. Like God wants this land. Just so happened to belong to Africa. These religious books allow them to write themselves into history. They don't have history. None. I don't know if you heard me the other day, Yabe, but I'm jumping out the window, man. I'm telling you, I don't think there was a fucking Greco-Roman. I don't think there was a Greece empire, bro. I don't think there was a Greco empire. I don't think it was a Roman empire. Starting not to believe any of that shit happened, bro. Because it seems like a lot of these stories, a major part of these empires seems to be on some biblical shit. I seem to notice that. And it just smells suspect. You got Titus destroying the temple of Jerusalem that never fucking existed. That's a red flag for me. If you start claiming that you destroyed a temple that never existed, your credibility to me right now is kind of shot. I have to question you in your existence, or at least your motivation. Why lie? Why lie about 70 AD? It never happened. These people are writing themselves into history, and they're still in credit of shit that we accomplished. And they're attributing this shit to Ham, Shem, and Japheth, to Abraham, to Muhammad. There ain't no fucking Muhammad. Like, this shit is silly. There ain't no Muhammad. Like, and we gonna quit playing this game. There ain't no Muhammad. The damn Quran is Jewish propaganda. Revert back to the people of the book. That shit is Jewish propaganda. Period. You know how we know it's Jewish propaganda? Because at the end of the day, guess what they do? Substantiate Abraham. Who we know is Brahmin. I I can smell the fire. A part of like when we make the move that we make, all of these books have to be burned. All of them. Every book, it has to be burned. We can't go forward with them. We'll do the same thing. We'll create some sort of fucking vault, some type of just like what they got Latin Vulgate. We'll have this African Vulgate where only the priests get to keep some of the shit that we might deem as important hidden in his Vulgate. The rest of this shit getting burned, torched up. None of this historical shit. None of that. All of this shit gotta get set on fire the moment we start to assume power. All of this shit, every bit of information that they put out has to be torched. We don't need it. Anything that wasn't written in stone, it don't deserve to last in the first fucking place. We have to do it all over again and solidify history this time. But we can't allow their way of, I already told y'all, they're able to convince you that we can't share with each other because somebody will always be trying to take advantage. While all they do is take advantage and they don't share. The direction that this planet takes, and I mean like the environment, the air we breathe, our food, our water, like the animals and shit, they're all dependent on us and how we treat this planet. So we have a responsibility, even with trying to be advanced in technology and in infrastructure. Your first responsibility, though, is to take care of the fucking planet that you live on. Like I said, whatever these people are that's doing a lot of this shit, I don't know if they drink fucking regular.
because I can't really think of people poisoning the water that they gotta drink, like fucking up the air that they gotta breathe. Like I'm gonna have to start seriously taking a look at the reptilian shit. That's where I'm at with it right now. Because a lot of shit just doesn't make sense. I mean, we seen these people. They went from not cooking their meat to fusing fucking atoms and shit. And splitting to my fault, not fusing. They doing it now, but to splitting atoms and like what? No, man. In a few hundred years, there's no fucking way. You don't go from as stupid as they was, especially in the dark ages, to splitting atoms without some sort of help. And I'm telling y'all, it's the deities that we pray to. That's where the fuck they getting their help from. We've lost our own communication, our own connection with our own source. And we rely on them for that. We got an opportunity to put the ball in our own court, but we have to think of a new game. We have to have the structure of the game. We have to create the rules of this game that benefit us. And then we have to figure out a way to coerce them into falling into our fucking game. We're not playing this game of Monopoly with them no more. We playing another game. That's where black people are today. In 2023, we're trying to figure out how to create another game. We don't want to do the normal shit no more. I'm good off that. I'm good. But with that being said, I think it's been a good one. I just want to get something in. I was gonna get something in for a little bit before I passed out. I ain't gonna lie, it's been a hell of a day. I'm talking about it's been hell of long. And somebody was actually supposed to be coming up here with me. So we'll see. They might jump up here next time. It's late though, so we probably get it, jumping next time though. But I'm gonna get y'all the show going at a different time. And see. Yeah, I might have to get on the what you call it. But yeah, man. I'll probably go live kind of early in the morning tomorrow, and I got something I'll present. I got a little presentation. I just want to kind of go over again for those who don't. know what African spirituality means or what that is, because I see that there are some confused people who don't know what that means. They don't think that that's an actual thing. So I'll present that again, even though I already did that in a debate. We'll do it again, because I know niggas' attention span's fucking short as fuck. So let's do it again. We'll explain what African spirituality is, what separates it from other people's fucking culture around the globe, and why these cultures are fucking aggressive towards African spiritual. Because if what you're gonna notice and what you're gonna find is that the only culture and spirituality that doesn't meet the requirements of the new social structure and the social standard just so happens to be this aboriginal, global aboriginal culture, this ancestral worship, this where the witch doctors is the government. Like they don't like that shit. See, niggas be trying to talk about like well, yeah, Ifa is a religion. That shit sounds good. That shit sounds good. These people have been governed by this. See, that's what y'all fail to realize. This is what separates African spirituality from Asian culture, European culture, Eurasian culture. You'll see. There's a big difference. And it's how we form our government. It's how we form and structure our society. These aren't religion. You can remove Christianity and these other societies still function the same way. You can't remove Ifa from you can't remove like the principal African spirituality and they just function. That's why you see them the way that they are now. It's just fucking confusion going on. Because the normal structure that they would be under, it doesn't exist. They traded that shit in for Jesus. They traded their real ancestors. Like, this is real shit. We didn't build mud huts. And mind you, motherfuckers think the mud huts ain't shit. Bitch, the mud hut is the shit. Fuck you. The mud hut is the shit. Nigga, that shit is Adobe. Like, nigga, you can fucking, the shit, it keeps you cool, dumbasses. This is for the dumbasses who be talking shit about mud huts. Shout out to the mud hut gang. Nigga, we built mud huts. We done built pyramids. We built civilization. We created agriculture. Like, nigga, we changed the way people ate for life. We domesticated food. We domesticated animals, cats and dogs and shit. We did that. We're trading those ancestors away for Abraham, Isaac, and fucking Jacob that never existed. Like, nigga will talk shit about mud huts and then be repping the fucking temple that ain't exist. Niggas will talk shit about the clicking sound. Or what you was the clicking? You was clicking? They'll make fun of that shit. But then be sitting there trying to spit and talk in this fucking Hebrew language that never existed, that there was no fucking Bible written in. No Hebrew Bible. No Hebrew Bible. There's no Hebrew Bible.
Niggas say that you don't even going back to the Hebrew. Ain't no need for you to go and study that bullshit. There ain't no Bible. There is no original Hebrew text. You're wasting your time if you're going to go study the Hebrew. They made that shit the fuck up. No need. You're wasting your time. Grandma had it. Grandma understood the Bible better. But trying to learn the Hebrew, all that Kadash, whatever that be, Kadash, Hashesh, or whatever that bullshit is, they be trying to claim it is. It didn't exist. The document isn't real. The enemies made that shit up. And it's the same people that you war against today. There will be a shift in society after we have a shift in our mind. And a part of the shift in the mind is the cleansing. And it sucks. It sucks. Because when you trying to lead people to freedom, you would like to take everybody with you. But even Harriet Tubman had to knock some of you niggas the fuck off just in order to ensure niggas got free. So I'm telling you right now, in the spirit of Harriet Tubman, some of you niggas will be sacrificed in the name of the revolution for that Abrahamic bullshit that y'all trying to push to the next generation. That shit can't be alive any further. There's no compromise. There's no surrender. There will be no retreat. None. I'm gonna holler at Kofi. I'm gonna tell him to get the fire started. Cause y'all already know, if y'all follow Kofi on IG, that nigga being out there getting it in nature. Kofi gonna start the fucking fire up on Mount Ararat. I don't know if y'all know Mount Ararat is where the boat landed at. That's where Noah's boat landed. He gonna start that fire, and we gonna walk y'all asses up that goddamn mountain. Because if y'all gonna, we can't just allow y'all niggas to be a sacrifice for Arabs and goddamn Jews. If anything, if y'all gonna sacrifice y'all soul, it's gonna be useful. We gonna make y'all niggas useful. At least let it be for black people. We done with that shit. This is part of the reason why niggas just don't move. Cause that shit is in your heart. And it just won't quite let us just swing on his ass. Everywhere you turn, you got a nigga trying to talk you down from why you shouldn't be swinging on his ass. Nigga, we literally watch what the fuck. I don't need to watch another Roots movie to know why I owe this nigga an ass whooping. That we ain't talking about this shit. Y'all niggas want to talk, and you're scared to die. We don't have shit to talk about. And when niggas slid on the homie, wasn't nobody scared to die when you was spinning a block, my nigga. You wasn't scared to die then. Well, nigga, shit happened to great grandma. Spin a block, nigga. Spin a block. Like niggas will watch Roots and shit and just no nigga spin a block, nigga. Niggas ain't really trying to spin nothing. No, bro. We passed all of the bullshit. Nigga spend any block but 1600 Pennsylvania. Like this shit silly. How you ain't never spent like, bruh, spin a block at this point. We passed the bullshit. Like the nigga been walking, the nigga then literally abused great grandma and been like walking in your face for like 400 years and talking shit. And talking shit. You ain't spent nothing yet, nigga. The fuck is we doing right now? What are we doing? We ain't got it. I told y'all when you look at West Africa. See niggas be talking. They tried to talk that shit and make it what like I didn't even I can only assume what they did with the Dahomey women and the Woman King and shit. I didn't watch it because I don't like the fucking title. You know what I'm saying? Like they already be trying to attack black women and their femininity. So anytime you see some Woman King shit, that's an attack right there. You know what I'm saying? They trying to attack it, basically black women will always been masculine. That's what they was trying to fucking say. Some shit like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck is going on here? So no, but the reason why they couldn't be captured, and it's the same thing with the crew tribe, is because they just killed themselves before they could get like they just rather fucking die. They just rather fucking die. So it's a good movie. I'm gonna have to check it. I'm gonna check it out then. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot. I didn't like the title, man, and I just felt like based on the title, I felt like it was gonna be an attack on black women. I just kind of knew it. And then they got Viola Davis, I think, to play it, and you know, that's somebody who might be a candidate. See, this is the beauty about African spirituality. He had a chance to adapt. That's a candidate. Depending on how the times go, Viola Davis might be a candidate to be, to be, if not Stemia, and a deity. Because that's somebody else whose features are attacked on a regular basis. And to me, I would say I could even argue that he said it's still Hollywood. Yeah, I figured. You ain't even gotta say, look, I know exactly what you mean now. Yep, but but what separated them though, these different tribes, the Crew tribe, and 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 them like and why they didn't make good slaves is because of their willingness to die. They just decided there's no way. You have to. They seen the future and said, "I'm not gonna have no babies in that future. You're not gonna make me have no babies in that future. I'll die right here." And this is where our belief and understanding in African spirituality comes into play. Because we gotta have the understanding that nigga will be the fuck back. You're coming back. You're coming back. Garvey said it was in the whirlwind. Elijah said it was on the wheel. I'm just gonna say it's the raft. And that's why I say it's hard for us. We can't move forward. We don't understand that we are the wrath of God. We're waiting for the wrath of God to happen. We gotta get away from that shit. The stories ain't making us move. The stories ain't inspiring us to flip and make changes. The story ain't inspiring us to make the sacrifices that are necessary. Instead, they're keeping us content and docile, where we're trying to step on as few toes as possible while we whisper as quietly as possible to get what the fuck we deserve, to get what's ours. Spin a block. Y'all know, man, my next song, look, two, I'm going two up, two songs. Both of them are stupid. Like, yeah, full radical, full radical. You already know it. Nah, man, I'm definitely gonna be putting in some work because I think part of the problem is we have all of this drill music, and I'm finna really like. And I don't know if y'all know, I kind of, I do already kind of do drill music, and usually it's aimed at the system in a way, and so, I'm just gonna be a little bit more on that. We don't have enough. Well, I ain't even gonna say it until the song is out because I ain't heard it, and I don't want to hear that shit before I drop my song. But you know, it's music for this time that's necessary, and a lot of niggas is feeling like the energy of that drill music. They don't like that shit. Nah, we need that energy. That energy of that drill shit is it. That's what the fuck it is. We just need to know what block we need to be spinning. And that's the confusion. Niggas is confused on what block to spin. That's why your drill music gotta be more addictive than that bullshit that they got. Your drill music gotta be, yeah, all of that. It gotta be all of that. Cause it's about influence. The people wanna be coerced regardless. It's our job if we are priest and priestess. It's our job to coerce the people who follow us, even on a minute level, into our form and our way of thought, period. Period. They don't know any better. They are sick. And the people who had a virus and it's gone too far and it's incurable. Well, They are meal. I mean, unfortunately, they are on the grill. I mean, because we're talking about a big ass barbecue, right? This is one big ass table. I'm saying that the only people not on the plate at this table and at this barbecue is the people who have their some form of African spirituality. All of the places in the Americas have it. The great part about it is an ability to adapt to the times. So for 2023 and moving forward, we know that this dark side shit is the future. With that being said, I'm gonna give another special praise to the most beautiful goddess of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, Stemia, whose image is the most beautiful goddess, Whoopi Goldberg. Shout out to all my Babel builders that got in the building. Remember, if you are listening to this, together we are Babel. Let's build. And y'all already know, man. I mean, we gonna get out here on that radical shit first. For real.
たった一つたった一つのたった一人たった一人の私はここ
Reparations on the table, nigga, we ain't seen shit. Put us under pressure, nigga, we ain't even sweat. Came out shining like a diamond in the middle with some mess. On Martin Luther King, bitch, we coming for our check. Headed to the Capitol to stake my feelings in the mind of a radical. You can't ride with me. I'm my only witness when I handle my business. Pull it from the hip, say bye-bye, Billy. No more time for no coasting. I'm on the highway focused. I ain't even smoking, I'm just riding my emotion. Both eyes open, I'm just trying to keep calm. Put an extra set of eyes on them doing recon. Knee deep in snow, say he try and keep going. Told him get up out the cold before my nigga deform. Every old wound seem to getting retorn. I'ma write deep poems to a nigga reborn. I'ma make a statement before I make it out alive. No Channel 5, I would rather make a lie. Before the news try to make a nigga out alive. But the pain in my eyes on a much bigger prize. 501, both hands in the sky. Little do they know it's no plan to survive. I ain't finna give them no chance to decide. I'ma put they feet in both hands in the fire. Dancing in the fire like Issac. You gon' test the water, never get both feet wet. We done overexposed the city defense. To the overexposure indecent. They don't know they diving in the deep end. Ain't no way that they surviving through the weekend. Everything blown in the flash like a beacon. Drowned in the flames, it's too late to let it sink in. Got 10 ways I can be vengeful. Sitting on 10 grenades, every last pinful. This guerrilla war, they don't know what they in for. I can hear them at the door trying to move in slow. I can hold them off, I got 3 shots. Taking every soul for at least 3 blocks. I can smell the fire burning through the sheetrock. Seeing bodies in the flame, nigga try and reach out. This is how you practice what you finna speak out. Thinking about the facts that they try to leave out. This is for my roots running through the deep south. Dying for a cause, what we finna beef out. If you ain't about the cause, what you finna beef out. Showing up deep, we gon' bring the streets out. Every man line up, showing what your street out. An independent state, what a nigga need now. たった一人たった一人の When it's moving through dark side, clearing up all the lies and the rumors too. Dark side, you say you want my life, you gotta fight me first. Dark side, come outside round here, there's nothing like church. Dark side, talked about Jesus, give them something to Babylon. Just know my whole team is battle tested and battle strong. One world speaking that Tower Babel tongue. Cold Hammurabi thinking ancient Babylon. No pun intended, Reaganomics had us under avalanche. We took off like a rocket, they was praying we could never launch into the upper echelon. You can never be yourself. Every day is Comic-Con, fast money Ramadan. Who collected Comic-Con? Cold check my vital signs. Motel 6 float. Woke up with the brightest mind. Out of sight, out an idle mind. They hate it when you idolize. We living in the final times. Guess you Ellen colorblind.
Spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life.
Put my soul on the altar, I never offer a sacrifice. The blood that we need for the lamb ain't never acting right. I take my path tonight, knowing that I might have to fight. I probably grab a knife and a 9. I guess I'm packing light, focus on the now. Just as much as the afterlife, I recognize the spirit is only taking up half the fight. Stairway to heaven, he won't make it up half a flight. He working, making bacon bits, probably out on the Sabbath night. Shoot for the moon, hoping to hit a satellite. You can ask them why when they see me, they call on Adonai. When we both know at the most he telling you half a lie. Feel the transition begin to happen when passing time. I came back in the sky, just like an astronaut, to say you selling Africans out. See you and asking Mike, and it's sad to say they really had it bad for Christ. And I hear the Habasha thinking they are the half
Holy
is white.
Spirit when it's moving through.
Dark side, dark side.
Clearing up all the lies and the rumors too.
Dark side, dark side.
You say you want my life, you gotta fight me first.
Dark side, dark side.
Come outside round here, there's nothing like church.
Dark side, dark side.
Come and get this life work.